What if the quiet kid everyone laughs at is the strongest person in the room, and you just don't know it yet? Have you ever judged someone by their clothes, and later wished you could take back every word? Liam Parker kept his eyes down as he walked into room 12 at Brookfield Middle School. His shoes were scuffed so badly the sides were peeling, and his backpack looked like it had survived a war. He slid into the last seat, hoping to become invisible. But invisibility didn't work when you were poor. "Wow," Tyler Grant whispered loudly, turning around with a grin. "Nice shoes, Liam. Did you buy those in the dinosaur era?" A few kids snickered. Emma Rhodes covered her mouth, not sure if she was laughing or uncomfortable. Noah Bennett muttered, "Leave him alone," but his voice was too soft to matter. Liam said nothing. He opened his notebook and started copying the date from the board, Monday, presentation day. His stomach growled. He pressed his palm against it and pretended it didn't. At the front of the room, Miss Carter clapped her hands. She was known for being strict, sharp, and proud of it. She liked perfect homework, perfect uniforms, perfect answers. And she had no patience for excuses. "All right, class," she said. "Today we're presenting our science projects. I expect effort. I expect preparation. And I expect you to take this seriously." Her eyes scanned the room like a spotlight. And landed on Liam's worn hoodie. Her mouth tightened. "Liam Parker," she said, a little too loudly. "Did you forget we have a dress code? That hoodie looks like it's been through a lot." A ripple of laughter moved through the class. Liam's ears burned. He tried to speak, but his throat felt tight. Ms. Carter tilted her head. "Let me guess. Another hard morning." More chuckles. Tyler leaned toward his friend and whispered, "Hard morning. He probably sleeps in a cardboard box." This time, the laughter was louder. Liam's fingers gripped his pencil so hard it almost snapped. Ms. Carter didn't stop it. She didn't even look at Tyler. Instead, she tapped her clipboard and said, "If you can't meet basic standards, Liam, maybe you should focus less on daydreaming and more on improving your situation." The words hit harder than any punch. Liam stared at his desk. In his mind, he saw his mother coughing into a tissue at 2 a.m. He saw the stack of overdue bills. He saw himself waking up before sunrise to deliver newspapers, then running home to make oatmeal, then rushing to school. He saw the empty refrigerator and the last slice of bread. But none of that mattered in this classroom. Not to them. Not to Ms. Carter. "Next," she said. "Tyler, you're up." Tyler walked to the front like he owned the room, his project board covered in bright printouts. He presented with confidence, and the class clapped. Ms. Carter smiled, an actual smile. Then it was Liam's turn. He stood slowly, carrying a plain poster board with hand-drawn diagrams. No glossy photos. No fancy labels. Just neat writing and careful lines. Tyler snorted. "Did you draw that with a crayon?" Someone giggled. Liam's cheeks turned red, but he kept walking. He placed the board on the easel and faced the room. "My project is about water filtration," he began quietly. "How to clean dirty water using simple materials." Ms. Carter raised an eyebrow. "And where did you get the materials?" "From the trash." A few kids laughed again. Liam flinched, but he didn't stop. He explained how sand, charcoal, and gravel could filter water. He spoke carefully, like every word had weight. For a moment, the room was almost silent, almost. Until Tyler decided it was time to finish him. Tyler stood up suddenly. "Hey, Liam. If you're so good at filtering stuff, can you filter the smell off your hoodie?" The room erupted. Even Ms. Carter let out a short laugh, like she couldn't help it. And that was the moment Liam realized something: he wasn't just being bullied by kids. He was being bullied by the adult who was supposed to protect him. Liam swallowed hard. He nodded once, as if accepting the laughter like rain you couldn't stop. Then he picked up his poster board and carried it back to his seat without finishing. Ms. Carter sighed dramatically. Well, that was something. Sit down, Liam. Maybe next time you'll come prepared. Liam sat. His hands were shaking. The bell rang 15 minutes later. Kids rushed out, excited and loud, but Liam stayed behind, packing his bag slowly. Ms. Carter didn't call him back. She didn't ask if he was okay. She didn't even look at him. In the hallway, Tyler blocked Liam's path with two friends. Hey, poor boy, Tyler said, flicking the strap of Liam's backpack. How much does that bag cost? $2 and a sad story. Liam tried to step around him. Tyler shoved him lightly, not enough to cause trouble, just enough to remind Liam who was in control. Liam stumbled, his books slipping from his arms. Papers scattered across the floor. A few students walked by and laughed. Emma hesitated. She looked at Liam's fallen papers, his neat handwriting, his careful drawings, his effort. She knelt down and picked up a notebook. Here, she said quietly, handing it to him. Tyler rolled his eyes. Ah, Emma's adopting a charity case. Emma's face flushed, but she didn't back away. It's not funny, Tyler. Tyler leaned in. Everything is funny. Liam took the notebook from Emma, his voice barely a whisper. Thanks. He shoved the rest of his papers into his bag, ignoring the dirt on his hands, and walked away. Outside, the air was cold. Liam headed toward the sidewalk, but he didn't go home. He turned left, toward the corner store. His mother was homesick. The medicine was running out. He reached into his pocket and counted the coins from his newspaper route, $6.30. He could buy the medicine, or dinner. He stared at the coins until his eyes blurred. Then, as he turned toward the store, he heard a soft crying sound. A little girl stood near the entrance, about 6 years old, hugging herself. Her coat was thin. Her cheeks were red from the cold. A woman nearby was arguing on her phone, distracted. The girl sniffled. I'm hungry, she whispered to no one. Liam froze. His stomach growled again, like it was begging him to remember his own hunger. He looked down at his coins. He looked at the little girl. And then he did something no one expected. He walked to the store clerk and bought a small sandwich and a juice box. It cost almost all his money. He held the bag carefully, like it was precious. Then he knelt in front of the girl. Hey, he said gently. Do you want this? The girl looked up, eyes wide. For me? Liam nodded. Yeah. You should eat. She took the bag with shaky hands and opened it like it was a gift from heaven. She started eating immediately, tears still on her cheeks. Liam stood up, heart pounding. Behind him, someone gasped. Liam turned, and saw Ms. Carter. She stood a few steps away, holding her car keys, staring at him as if she'd just seen a completely different person. For a second, neither of them spoke. Ms. Carter looked from Liam to the little girl. Then she looked at Liam's hands, dirty, cold, and trembling. She looked at his shoes again, and this time her eyes didn't judge. They wondered. Liam, she said, her voice lower than Liam had ever heard it. You bought that for her? Liam nodded once, embarrassed. She said she was hungry. Ms. Carter glanced at the store receipt still in Liam's hand. $5.95. She saw what was left in his pocket. Almost nothing. But, why? She asked. Liam's jaw tightened. He wanted to lie. He wanted to run. He wanted to disappear again. But something about the way Ms. Carter looked, something softer, something shaken, made him speak. "Because I know what hungry feels like," Liam said quietly. The words landed like a stone dropped into still water. Ms. Carter's face changed. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. She blinked quickly, as if holding back something heavy. "Liam," she said, her voice trembling. "Is everything okay at home?" Liam stared at the ground. "My mom's sick," he admitted. "I work in the mornings. I try. I'm just tired." Ms. Carter's throat moved like she swallowed something sharp. In that single moment, right there, outside a corner store, her perfect classroom rules suddenly looked small. Her jokes didn't feel funny anymore. Her "no excuses" policy sounded cruel. Ms. Carter took a slow breath. She stopped, then tried again. "I owe you an apology." Liam looked up, surprised. Ms. Carter stepped closer, her eyes shining. "I shouldn't have mocked you. I shouldn't have allowed anyone else to, either. I was wrong." Liam didn't know what to say. No teacher had ever said that to him. Ms. Carter looked toward the little girl again. "And what you just did, you gave away what little you had." Liam shrugged, still embarrassed. "It's not a big deal." Ms. Carter shook her head slowly. "It is a big deal. It's everything." The next day, something felt different the moment Liam walked into room 12. The whispers started, but they weren't the same. Kids glanced at him like they were seeing him for the first time. Tyler still smirked, until Ms. Carter walked in and slammed a stack of papers on her desk. "Before we begin," she said, voice firm, "we need to talk." The room went silent. Ms. Carter looked straight at Tyler. "Bullying ends today. Not next week. Not after another warning. Today." Tyler's smile faded. Ms. Carter's eyes swept across the class. "And I need to say something else. Yesterday, I failed someone in this room." Liam's stomach dropped. "I failed Liam Parker, Ms. Carter continued, her voice steady but thick with emotion. "I made comments I should never have made. I allowed laughter that should have been stopped. And I am sorry." A stunned silence filled the room. Ms. Carter turned toward Liam. "Liam, will you please stand up?" Liam's hands shook as he rose slowly. Ms. Carter swallowed hard. "You showed kindness yesterday that most adults don't even have. And I'm asking you, publicly, for your forgiveness." Liam's throat tightened. He looked around the room. Emma smiled softly at him. Noah nodded. Even some of the kids who laughed looked ashamed. Liam took a breath. I forgive you," he said. Ms. Carter exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for months. "Thank you." Then she lifted Liam's plain poster board from her desk, his water filtration project. "I also want to say this," she added, holding it up. "Liam's project is one of the most practical and meaningful ones I've seen. He didn't have expensive materials. He had effort. He had skill. And he had heart." She pinned his poster on the classroom wall. Right in the center. Tyler shifted in his seat, uncomfortable. For the first time, he didn't look powerful. After class, Miss Carter asked Liam to stay behind. She didn't lecture him. She didn't criticize. She asked questions. She listened. That week, Miss Carter quietly arranged support through the school counselor. Meal assistance, a small grant for Liam's family, and a part-time work adjustment program so Liam didn't have to exhaust himself before school. She also started an anti-bullying pledge in the classroom, with real consequences and real conversations. Tyler was forced to apologize, not with a fake sorry, but with actions, helping Liam carry books, stopping jokes, and learning that being popular wasn't worth being cruel. And Liam? Liam didn't suddenly become rich. His life didn't turn into a fairy tale overnight. But something did change. He no longer felt invisible. He was still the kid with worn shoes, but now people saw the person inside them. Because one moment, one small act of kindness, showed everyone the truth. Moral: never judge someone by what they wear. You don't know what battles they're fighting, or how much strength it takes for them to keep showing up. If this story touched your heart, remember, be the person who helps. Not the person who laughs.